Hi, my name is Cecilia. I am the CEO and founder of JAS Alcohol-free Cocktails for everyone. But before I jump into the topic of alcohol alternatives, I'd like to tell you a story about mezcal. Specifically, a story about a girl and her mezcal. As you can see, this isn't my first beverage company. I actually used to work in the mezcal business. In 2009, I took my first trip to Oaxaca and I fell in love. I was captivated by a spirit that was a little rough around the edges and a bit misunderstood. Nevertheless, mezcal swept me off my feet by its complex and intricate notes, its artisanal production, and its larger-than-life characters. So in 2012, I went all in. I quit my day job and I decided to start my own brand. Mezcal had a story to tell, and I was ready to share it with every imbiber I came across, thus becoming La Niña del Mezcal. But a little over 5 years ago, I began to question my own relationship with alcohol. Despite loving the journey I was on and being impassioned by this industry that we all love, we're all a part of, I started to be curious about what my life would look like if I wasn't drinking all the time. So I experimented with some bouts of sobriety. I started with a week, then a month, then 6 months, until about 2 years ago, for about 2 years, I went on and off alcohol, experiencing what I felt like without drinking and then going back. That was until December 4th, 2018, when I had my last drink. The next day, I woke up feeling super anxious, my mind was racing, and I could hardly sit with myself. That's when I realized that alcohol no longer served me. It was when I accepted that as much as I loved what I did, this lifestyle was no longer sustainable, and I had to make a choice. It was the hardest choice I ever made, and I was terrified. I was afraid of who I would be without alcohol, and I was afraid of all the experiences and moments that I would miss out on if I wasn't drinking. But still, I was determined to live life on my own terms. A couple months into being sober, as I started to go into this journey of sobriety, I realized that whenever I went to a bar or a party, I could never really find beverages that spoke to me or made me feel good about my choices. I was not drinking alcohol anymore, but I still wanted to go out, and I still wanted to hang out with my friends, and I still wanted to be excited about what I could experience when I went out. And for many non-drinkers like myself, this was what was happening. If you've ever been a sober driver, taken a month off drinking, or quit altogether, you may have encountered this question when you go out. Non-drinkers are constantly dodging traditional drinkers who want to know why you're not drinking. This makes us feel excluded. Or like Dan said, bartenders don't understand sometimes. Now they do. But at times, back in that day, they didn't understand. And it happens at practically every social setting where alcohol is served. Conventions, happy hours, corporate happy hours, college parties, and even wine mom gatherings. So during the time that I was working with spirits, I learned that every sip that we take imparts a sense of identity on ourselves. We grow up watching our parents' drinking habits, and we mature into our own, thus becoming scotch, beer, or mezcal drinkers. After all, people called me La Niña del Mezcal, or the mezcal girl, because I drank and loved mezcal. But it wasn't until I started to feel curious about my sobriety that my drinking identity would begin to change. A couple months into being sober, I felt a sense of freedom. Suddenly, I had an enormous amount of time and energy to do whatever I always wanted to do. I started taking French classes, I excelled in my yoga practice, and I even applied to an MBA and got accepted. I was delighted in my pursuit of my alcohol-free lifestyle, and I discovered that I wasn't alone. As Dan pointed out, and as Louis also pointed out, there is a moderation trend that is sweeping across key global markets now, bringing with it an increased demand for reduced and alcohol-free alternatives. These are free drinkers who are go-getters. They are nonconformists. They're ready to go out and enjoy life with their friends and enjoy life to the fullest. They are foodies. They love to travel. They're adventure seekers. And they are business professionals who work hard but also want to slow down. They have mindful habits, and they're conscious of their health and wellness. They're living their best lives and make a conscious effort to be present in everything that they do. This is where JAS comes in. JAS began with my need to create a sensory evocation of a mezcal cocktail for myself, and then it became something much bigger. JAS was born as the result of living my best life and wanting to share that with other people. I wanted to drink something that would make me feel excited about my choices and that I could enjoy that same sense of curiosity and thrill that I would get when I used to drink mezcal. And I wasn't finding it, so I felt like I had to create it. So JAS is a mission-driven brand that creates alcohol-free beverages that allow people to participate in the social ritual of drinking without compromise. That's because our expertise in spirits allows us to create cocktails that can emulate the look, the taste, and the mouthfeel of traditional beverages. We believe that everyone has the right to feel empowered by their own choices and to be themselves and celebrate themselves without compromise. We are for the nonconformists, the go-getters who mindfully want to live their life their own way, inspiring others to live their best lives. We set ourselves apart by being flavor-forward, focusing on delivering an authentic cocktail experience, and crafting our recipes with functional and all-natural ingredients. Our expertise allows us to deliver on these three pillars, as evidenced by our unique production process. To create our cocktail recipes, we start at the base. In the case of our signature cocktail, the Paloma Libre, we start with a mezcal. Think of spicy charred notes of vanilla oak and spicy cinnamon and cardamom. We use all natural extracts to start with this base, and then we layer that by engulfing it in a citrus blend of grapefruit and lime juice. Splash with sparkling bubbles that splash gently on your palate. Crafted with all real and natural ingredients, our flavor-forward recipes are layered to stimulate all your senses, recreating that wonder and pleasure of a traditional cocktail. Additionally, we use ingredients, like Louis was talking about, functional ingredients, like ashwagandha. And these ingredients have adaptogenic properties that help alleviate stress and enhance your mood. With JAS, there's no FOMO, only JOMO. So we are launching, we're very excited to be finally launching. It took us a while to get our production off the ground. We were working with a co-packer to be able to create a shelf-stable product. So we're finally going to launch in a couple of weeks. Our production line is going to run next week, so we're very excited about that. And we are going to start in local key markets like New York, LA, and Dallas. In LA, we're going to partner with key accounts. We really want to focus on the trade to be able to have that traditional cocktail experience. So when you go to a bar and you talk to your bartender and he offers you a JAS, you know that it's a traditional and authentic cocktail. So we're starting with a couple activations in LA, and hopefully we'll make our way around here as well by the end of the summer. And we're going to partner with Midas Moonshine for a little launch event. And we're just very excited to be here. Really, JAS is all about building community and creating, being able to share our journey with people who are on a similar or just any type of experience that you want. You don't have to drink every day, and what we really want to share with people is that you have the opportunity to be yourself, and we're making products that can allow that. So with JAS, you can live free and drink free.